There are so many other pregnancy videos out there talking all about the basic stuff, like what to do when you have morning sickness or what to pack in your hostel bag, but I don't think there's any videos out there that actually talks about the other side of pregnancy, the guilt, the loneliness, the identity crisis, like is your life gonna be completely over? If you're new here, hi, my name is xThuyLe. This is my 6th episode in my makeup and mindset series where we talk about deep subjects that no one ever likes to talk about. Grab a snack, we're gonna put on some makeup because it's about to go down. Okay, firstly, I want to address the topic that I think every woman will ask themselves at least once in their lifetime, and that is, when do you know that you're ready to have kids? It is definitely one of the biggest, most personal decisions when a woman decides when or if she wants to have a baby. And if I'm honest, for a long time, I actually didn't know if I wanted to have a baby. It was one of those conversations that me and my boyfriend, even though we've been together for 16 years, we just constantly kept kicking that can down the road. I've always been that person that is very career driven. I've always had big ambitions, big goals, and whenever I accomplish something, I'm like, okay, on to the next. And if you watch my other makeup and mindset series, you would know how I grew up. I've always had this fear that one day everything that I've worked so hard for might go away. So I always feel like I have to keep working really hard and making sure that I have a good foundation for myself and waiting for when I have the perfect time or my finances are in check. But I know there is that saying that there really never is a perfect time. My advice coming from a pregnant woman that is halfway through her 2nd trimester going into her 3rd, I want you to picture right now if you're about to go into your bathroom and you take a pregnancy test, and if you saw on that pregnancy test there's 2 lines, you are pregnant, it is positive, what is your gut reaction? Is your gut reaction, oh hell no girl, oh my god no, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to me? Girl, I hate to break it to you, but you're probably not ready, okay? That is a sign.
No ma'am. No ma'am.
But on the other hand, if you have the reaction where you're like,
oh my god, I didn't expect this wasn't the right time.
But when you really think about it, you're like, okay, like maybe we can make it work, or it wasn't the best timing, but there could be a possibility where, it could be a good thing. Like if you have that little gut reaction where you're like, okay, we're gonna do it, it's okay, then that is your gut reaction telling you that you are probably ready for this next chapter. And that was my gut reaction when I found out I was pregnant, even though I knew that my life is about to change and I had so much fear that was brought to the surface. I think deep down I could feel like, okay, we can make this work. It's not like the end of the world. Whereas if you asked me a couple of years ago when I was in my partying phase and my going out phase and my clubbing phase, I would have been like,
oh hell no, bitch.
The first thing that I feel like no one talks about during their pregnancy is the type of guilt that you feel. If you saw my last pregnancy video when I actually found out that I was pregnant, girl, I did not have a very happy TikTok reaction, okay? I literally froze with fear. I had all of these selfish thoughts about like, oh my god, what if my life is gonna be over? What about my career? What about my body? I just had all of these selfish thoughts about myself and how my life feels like it's gonna be over. The first thoughts that come into my head, let me tell you guys, was not joy, okay? It was so many scared, anxious thoughts about, am I even ready to be a mum? Like, am I going to be a good mum? I don't want to just have a child. I actually want to be a good parent. And I felt so guilty for feeling that way, because a lot of times when you see online and women find out that they're pregnant, they jump for joy and they're so happy. I felt so guilty. That was not my reaction. I felt guilty for feeling so scared, because I know there's a lot of women that would die to be in my shoes and they've been dying to get pregnant for years. Especially in my situation where I kind of like fell pregnant really quick. There's like this feeling of like, you should feel happy, you should feel grateful, but sometimes that's just not your first reaction. And looking back now, I actually had so many messages from women that also felt the exact same way, and I realized that is a very normal feeling. When you know that your life is about to change, like that's an uncomfortable feeling. A lot of us just want to stick in our bubble and do what we've always done and stay in our comfort zone, because that is all all we know. Now that I'm in the thick of my pregnancy, I can definitely look back now and feel so much growth. Like, I definitely don't feel that way anymore. There's still parts of me that feel scared, but I'm actually in a place now that I genuinely feel excited. So if you just found out you're pregnant, girl, don't worry. I know exactly how you feel, but it does get better. And now I'm in a place where I'm actually so excited for that next chapter of my life. And I wouldn't have known that when I first found out that I was pregnant and I saw that stick. Oh, girl, the amount of fear. The next topic I want to talk about is this strange feeling like you're mourning your old life. And I know that sounds a little bit dramatic, but during this pregnancy, it's brought up so many weird feelings, and it's almost like grief. Because me and my partner Grant have been together since we were 16, I feel like we've built this little world, we've built our own little bubble, and it's just the two of us, and just that feeling of knowing that so much is going to change. If you saw my baby moon video where we went to Vietnam, I really felt that feeling of, oh my god, this is going to be the last time with just us two. I feel like I could cry every time I think about it, because even when we got my dog Rolo, I feel like that made such a big impact on our relationship. Our sex life wasn't as popping anymore. We was a lot more tired. And when I think about the idea of having a baby, I'm like, oh girl, you need to times that by 10. I can't explain the feeling of how weird it is knowing that so much is going to change. Being able to be spontaneous, go out whenever you want, and even just being in the same stage of life as your friends, like all of that is about to change. And it's such a scary feeling knowing that that chapter is basically closing. Let's be honest, I think a lot of us are really scared of change, but I think the one thing that I keep overthinking is, how is my work life going to change? Am I still gonna be as ambitious? Am I still gonna be that go-getter? I've always put so much self-worth in how much I work and how productive I am, but obviously now growing life, like, it's just not gonna be the same anymore. So I think being pregnant and going into motherhood doesn't just change your body, but it changes your identity. I ask myself these weird questions like, will I still be ambitious? Will I still want to work the way that I used to? Will people take me seriously as a businesswoman now that I'm a mum? And it's weird because you definitely do start morphing into motherhood in a way that I didn't think will happen so fast. Like, for example, right now I am decluttering my wardrobe, and there's times I literally look into my wardrobe and I'm like, girl, I cannot wear this now, okay? I am a mother.
Can you believe?
I need to throw away these booty shorts. And that's how it happens, guys. It happens so quick where your identity starts to change. The clothes and the things that you used to be into, you no longer align with it. And it's not even just with clothes as well. Like, I feel like that's such a superficial thing. It's even things like, can I post that now? Like, I'm gonna be a mum. Should I say that? People are gonna think I'm irresponsible if I show that side of me. Basically, what I've learned with this pregnancy is that the way that I viewed my life and my goals, my social life, my career, everything starts to get filtered through this lens of motherhood now. You just feel like this sense of responsibility, like I need to look after myself, like I just feel a lot more protective. And I think it's a universal feeling that a lot of mums are just scared of losing themselves, losing their identity, and parts of us that we've been building for years. Okay, next is going to be quite a heavy topic, but I feel like it needs to be spoken about, and it's just the idea of navigating loneliness or lack of support. Something no one prepares you for is how lonely pregnancy can make you feel. If you've been following my journey and my makeup and mindset videos, you would know that I don't really have like a very close relationship with my parents or my mum, and neither does Gwang. I'm not close to my in-laws, and it's like a complicated feeling because you really start to think like, who is gonna be in my baby's life? Who am I gonna invite to my baby shower? Do I have enough people to invite to my baby shower? And everyone always says that, you know, you just make it work, but there's also a saying that it takes a village to raise a child, and you just think like, oh, who have I got in my village? Recently, I have been, you know, doing my baby registry, and I came across this video on TikTok of this girl saying that, you know, baby stuff is so expensive, and she was adding these really expensive things onto her baby registry, and she just sent it to her parents and her in-laws just to look at and, you know, give her advice, and they basically brought everything that she requested for the baby. And when I was watching that, I was like, oh, Must be nice. Cannot relate. And it's not even the fact that it's about money or anything like that. It's just about like, wow, she just has so much support around her, and the baby has so much already, even though it's not even here yet. And it just makes you reflect on your own life. Like me and Guang, like our whole life has had to work for everything that we have. And you know, it's just that feeling of like, oh wow, we're really gonna have to try to do it again with this next chapter of our life. And you know, buying all these things for baby, which is really expensive. I also recently spent a lot of time with my mummy friends. A lot of my friends are mums now, and they all had their mums stay over at their house for a month, helping them cook and clean and look after baby while they're in their postpartum. And when they told me that, my first reaction was like, oh hell no, I do not want my mum living with me for a month. Oh child, that would give me more stress than the damn baby itself. When I actually think about it, that is a really sad feeling that I can't rely on my mum. Not that I can't rely on her, because I do think if I asked her, she would be there. But we just don't have that relationship where I feel like we talk about deep things, or we have the same values in this world, or the same parenting techniques. My mum doesn't even speak English, girl, okay? And I can barely speak Vietnamese. Like my Vietnamese is so broken. And I feel like during that time when I'm very, you know, hormonal, I need to tread very gently. I think that idea of having my mum here would just be more stressful than good. And it just made me feel really sad. It made me feel really sad that I don't have that relationship with her. And maybe I'm not the only one out there that just doesn't have that relationship with my in-laws and my parents. Yeah, that feeling of lack of support or not having that relationship definitely comes up when you are pregnant and you start to think about your future and who's going to be in the baby's life. I think with pregnancy, you just learn so much about yourself. Like, I have always identified myself as go-getter, career-driven. Like, I'm gonna get that goal and make my dreams happen.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment.
With this pregnancy, not only has it physically slowed me down,
Okay, like physically, because I'm tired all the damn time.
but it's really forced me to think about what do I actually value in my life. I caught up with a friend recently who is very similar like me, like goal driven, always wanted to climb up in her career, and she just recently had a baby. So of course I asked her, like, you know, what has been the biggest changes since having a baby? She said to me that she no longer cares about climbing up in the corporate ladder. She is very much happy just to make sure that she has food on the table and all of her bills are covered, but most of the time she just wants to spend with her baby. That just hit me like a ton of bricks. Me and her have always had this thing where we're always like talking about our goals and what we're doing this quarter, and just seeing her change so much really did affect me. It made me think about, oh, okay, I guess there is more to life than just your career and, you know, making money and making your life feel like you have purpose. And it honestly made me think about, what do I want to prioritize in this next chapter of my life? I honestly feel bad and guilty for admitting this, but I've always had a very negative association with motherhood, pregnancy, and it's probably because of the way that I was brought up. And I definitely have a lot of trauma around my childhood, and like one of my biggest fears is like passing down my trauma to my kids, carrying on that generational trauma. But if you would have asked me a couple of months ago, like, how do you think pregnancy would feel like? Do you think you'll be like radiating like those mums out there? I would have probably told you that pregnancy would be miserable. You're gonna feel fat, you're gonna look ugly, your nose is gonna grow. And I genuinely thought that I would hate it. But now that I'm in my second trimester, going into my third trimester, honestly, it hasn't been that bad. It happens very fast and very rapidly, where you see your body changing all the time. And I honestly thought that that would be the worst part. Like, I would hate that feeling so much. But it's such a weird feeling that you actually feel this sense of like empowerment, and you feel like, wow, like my body is doing a damn thing. You feel like really protective about your bump and, you know, how I choose to spend my time, my priorities, my energy. Like, I don't take bullshit anymore. I don't do things that I don't want to do anymore. And it's taught me a lot about boundaries, priorities, self-respect. I really think about, what do I want to do with my time? Because the time that I have until my baby gets here is so finite that I want to make sure I'm spending the time doing things that I want to do, that's actually going to nourish my life and going in the direction that I want my life to go. And honestly, I don't think you you can ever explain the feeling of when you go to your first baby scan. You don't feel like there's anything different happening, but when you see that baby on the screen with his little head like flickering, that feeling of like complete love before you even met the baby is something I just can't describe. And I can only imagine when you actually like, you know, pop out the baby and they lie on your chest, it must be this feeling of like overwhelming unconditional love. I didn't expect myself to be so emotional. I literally cried like a baby during my first scan, and now that I'm starting to feel like the baby kick and I start to feel like, oh my god, there's something actually in there, you know, you just feel really empowered. I can't explain it, and I can definitely see now why so many women choose to get pregnant again and again and have more babies, because it must just give you so much love and joy in your life. Something that I don't think work, money and all these other outside external things could ever give you. Something I really had to learn and accept is that even though I'm not like go and chasing all my career dreams at the moment, I am building a life that I feel like is more meaningful. I don't know why, that just like trumps everything. Sounds so cheesy, but if you are watching this and you are so scared about pregnancy and so scared that your life is going to change, I'm a bit more than halfway through my pregnancy, and I do have to tell you that it's not that bad. Like, you still have the energy, you have so much love between you and your partner, and you know, I really do believe that a happy mum will create a happy baby. Okay, so I'm trying not to spike my cortisol, I'm trying not to get stressed. I really want to be calm and happy and laugh during this pregnancy so that hopefully I can have a calm, happy baby. And that's probably not scientifically proven, but I do believe that the happier the mum is, the happier your baby would be. But I am dreading giving birth postpartum. I hear like the 4th trimester is the worst one yet. So if anyone has any tips out there for new mums, let us know down below in the comments, because we all are reading through there trying to get some advice, okay, to feel a little bit better about our vaginas opening and being split in half. I really hope you guys enjoyed this very raw, open makeup and mindset video. It's definitely one of the most heartfelt videos that I have filmed in a long time, and it's something that I'm going through right now as we speak, and I feel like this video will really hopefully help someone out there that's, you know, maybe wondering if they are ready to have a baby, how to navigate their pregnancy, how to navigate this next change and this next chapter of their life. Girl, I am here with you, and I think this time is all about looking after yourself, pouring into your own cup, making sure that you are no longer giving away your time and your energy to resources that don't deserve it, you know? Like, this is the time to fill up our cup and to make sure that we're in the best headspace so that we're able to enter this next chapter and give our baby like the mother that they need. I also done another video where I spoke all about the things that I've learned from having a life coach. She was the one who taught me through this idea of pregnancy and how my life is not going to be over, and the idea of like my energetic budget and how I choose to spend my time. I love you so much, and I cannot wait to share more of this next chapter with you guys. We are going to be finding out the gender next. I'm excited. I'm nervous. Is it going to be a boy? Is it going to be a girl? Let me know down below in the comments what you think. I think this dog. Yeah, Roland wants to say his piece about how he feels about my pregnancy as well. I can't wait to have a brother or a sister. Yep. I'm actually getting ready to go on a podcast right now. My first ever podcast, girl. Okay, I'm going on a podcast called Spill with Will. So if you guys want to go support your pregnant girl, then I'll leave the link down low in the comments.